Morning, everyone. Jimmy, I think a little bit patient with me today. I think I'm going to slip disc or something. I pull a muscle in the back. So, yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm sitting still. Really, when I move, like here's bloody mission. Probably a couple of days, then it'll go away. But just moving around quite quick. So, just bear with me. But I'm okay. I'm sitting down. Just when I have to move at all. Just say, morning, guys. Okay. I trust you had a good week since I last saw you. Right, 1:30. A little bit late joining. Had a couple of things I had to do after the which took a little bit longer because back from my map. Anyway, we're up and running now. 1:30. We need to got started on time. That's a good thing. Good. Right. Well, it's been an interesting few days, hasn't it? I think probably an idea just to discuss what later on, anything you came up with, Ashley, any trades you came up with, we can discuss how they went. And then we'll look at new ones with a couple of ideas. You can have a look at them as well. And we from there. As you saw yesterday, pushing the stronger dollar turned out at the end by the pullbacks in the dollar turned out nicely. A little bit of help, a lot of help to be honest, from the US CPI that came out yesterday, which was a lot worse or higher than expected, which is inflationary. Now they're talking back from not just 75, almost certain percent coming up and interest rates in America, but they're now talk with that, not they're now talking it might even be a 1%, and they're all talking about as far as 4% in total going into next year. So inflation's hectic. They're quite threatening to bring it down. Jobs reports coming, the jobless claims coming out tomorrow. It's not pretty, and it's not looking pretty anywhere at the moment. We've had a hell of a run over the last 15 years. It's come back to bite with these very low interest rates that control, and inflation results is out of control. So to keep on a fairly deal, the interest rate increases the way, and it reflected the stronger dollar. And those guys have got into those dollar trades that we're in from last time, certainly since I last saw you guys. Came out with a nice big smile on their face, and that's good stuff. Okay, that's the name of the game. Right. Okay. See now. Yeah, more to be discussed. We discussed last week a few of them. They all seem to come out all right. Now I see Ashley and Zephyr there, except the Euro CHF. I don't know how it worked out because I was for a sell. I think you two and a couple others for a buy. Just want to bring it up. I think it was on Tuesday or Sunday last week, so a week ago. So I'll go all the trades we went through. They all seem to come right. So that's the main thing. And it's a bit old now, so we're looking for new ones. But what's this one then? Doing in the way. There we are. If you remember, we went for the Euro CHF. It was at 97.50, I think it was. Yeah. I was a sell from mine. A couple of guys went with me, and Zeph and Ashley, a couple of guys went with them. Was along at the same price. I'm not sure how it turned out. So you've got to get it right. It was a few days ago. I think it was on Tuesday. If you remind me, Ashley, because today is Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. somewhere around about these levels. So yeah, did you find it went right all right or not? Because I lost touch of it. It went right for me, and I'm worried by the stop, and I got stopped out. Maybe a couple of bucks, not much. And I had other stuff to do, so I lost a little bit of control of it. So so I'm not trying to just trying to remember. Did it go out right to you in the end? I'm not quite sure how it panned out there. So the guys went short to make money, or the guys went long at Euro CHF, if you remember. Because we want to do a few more of those where we have different opinions, see how they work out. Did it come out? Did it come right for you, Ashley or Zeph? Okay, so it looks like it's a win-win situation. Okay, it went bearish and then he went bullish and you made a couple of bucks and you end up bearish. But the point is, it seems like both sides of it won. You went short and got stopped out. So that was a loss by going short. And the guys who took quick profit going short or long seem to have worked out. As you can see there, in the end, it came off quite a bit. But we're not talking about now, we're talking about. So the overall short seems to be the name of the game. But it got stopped out before it came across. Okay, fair enough. Well, there we are. But we want to do a few more of those. I want to do a few more of those. So, okay, fine. We'll do a few more of those. Not getting stopped out. I mean, where some guys want to go long and short. Because the most important part behind that is to see that guys are learning enough to make their own decisions and their own opinions. Because and that's what the market's about, buyers and sellers. That we don't have a market. Okay, fair enough then. Okay, so it looks like the long might have won that one in the end, Zeph. So well done, guys. Okay, it's right down here now. We'll be chasing it now. So just a reminder, go over that. Okay, just going to get this thing out of the way. It's getting in the way. Don't know what's doing there, but anyway, that's better. Okay. Right, I just wanted to mention something else that came up because I don't think he's on here at the moment. Was a bit upset because he was when the market moved the fundamental quickly, as it happens yesterday. He didn't get stopped out. He was a long on, I think it was on gold, and he didn't get stopped out, and he eventually got out, but not as it stopped at a worse price, and he wasn't happy about it. I want to make people understand. I think most of you guys do, but I want to reiterate. There's no guarantee of the stop loss or the SL kicking, stop loss or TP kicking in if you're going to get a trending, not a trading, a trending market. A trending market is when the fundamental comes out. Because remember, a stop loss or a TP is purely a buy or a sell order. And if buyers or sellers at that level, it's not going to get triggered. It's not a guarantee. So I'm going to buy here at this price and go to, let's say, 90, I don't know, 96, make it 97. Okay, and there might not be buyers if a fundamental kicks in and push at 97. So you'll still be in the market. Still a buyer or seller will take your trade, and it might be the different price of stop loss. It virtually never occurs in the trading market, but it can occur in a big movement trending market. Just bear that in mind. So I hope you all get what I'm saying. It's like all bits about buyers and sellers. I think my house is worth £1 million. Well, I think what I like. Unless somebody's willing to buy it off me and pay £1 million, then it's in my head, if you know what I mean. But don't have to worry about it. It's just saying that on trade days, like we get stopped out, the liquidity. If it gets a sudden movement, let's say some news suddenly came out now, the guard jumped in, unbeknown to us all, and jumped interest rate, got planets on there by 1%. That euro is going to jump quickly. Now you've got to stop. Stop loss there, it'll jump right through it, and only the buyers and sellers might be coming in there. So your stop loss was here and you're kicked out there, you're not a happy chappy. We're going short at the time, and the interest rate suddenly coming out, that's a trending market or trending fundamental, would have shot through your stop and you'd been out at where the buyers and sellers are coming in again. Hope that all makes sense. So just bear that in mind. We are not, I promise, going to fiddle you on a couple of bucks. Guy who's making that didn't have a real large account, tried to get through, obviously emotional, but we're not going to pull fast ones in a couple of bucks. No, I agree, everyone's got their price, but ours in a couple of bucks, not mine, I'm talking about the companies, it runs into millions. Everyone, I think, is the same. Might shoot an elephant over an animal lovers for their ivory, so paying them $10 million to look away. I love elephants and I love animals. I'm totally against it. But I might be tempted for $10 million, $100 million, or whatever. You get the point. But no, I'm not going to be tempted for a couple of bucks. So we are not there. We're not going to risk 10 million rand, utilize everything to screw out a couple of bucks. That ain't going to happen. So there's got to be a reason. And no one's emotional. We don't want to hear the rational. But the problem is it wasn't triggered simply because the trend of that sudden movement came in. It's a bit like, and she's on here, Adele asked me yesterday, not on, might join later, just want to explain. I said, very, very likely, the guys in BA, was an idea I came out with. Well, it's actually the company came out with this case yesterday, was posted. And I said, when the market opens, it's very, very likely, the way the Nasdaq's falling through the CPI ruling, that you're going to do very well on opening. So she said, well, can I get some more of those, sell some more of those shares to take advantage of it? I wish that was the case, but that'd be called a no-brainer. If it was that obvious, there wouldn't be a market. Of course you can't. Remember, every time you want to sell something, someone's got to buy it. Every time you want to buy something, someone will want to sell it. You know, you've got to have something to the opposite. And everyone knows it's going to go down. So in case exactly what did happen, it didn't open at the close of the previous day, it opened lower. And then the normal buy and sells come in, whether you hang on, you take profit, or do whatever. So the no-brainer, you've got to ever buy and sell. And it's utterly obvious. The price is going to go up. You might not get a seller. It's actually obvious going down. You might not get out of it because there's no buyers. You've got to have the buyers. And we call that liquidity, buy and sell. Hope we're all clear on that. Stop, I pray, if you're looking for this no-brainer. The no-brainer usually comes back and bites you. Remember, there's some extremely advanced PhDs and algorithms and computer systems trying to get clever with this. So if you come out a month's experience and think you're going to beat these guys with some no-brainer, it's been thought about. So no, it's not quite as simple as that. If it wasn't, you wouldn't have a market. Hope that's all sort of clear. I am not trying to offend you. It's usually a lack of knowledge or trying to get a no-brainer. Something for nothing doesn't work. There's a guy who posted the other day, he wants to make $5,000 a month. I don't want to be nasty, but we laugh. If that was the case, why put in 200? Why not put in 2 million and you own the world? You know what I'm saying? So just please, no such thing as a no-brainer, nothing, something for nothing, and you know, don't have the skill, ain't gonna happen. Now, just read that out. 2% we have to keep an eye. He's been said for a while. 2% is gold, and he doesn't seem to be changing on it. So yeah, going forward, that's it. Always remember, again, the no-brainer thing, a lot of these expected are discounted in the market. We're now discounting, that's where the jump came to the dollar, 75 basis points increase in the interest rate. So if it occurs, you're going to get a movement, I agree. But if it's a 0.5% or a full percent, then you get the movements because they're unexpected. That's all I'm trying to say. If the expected, if it's that obvious and expected and it's all over, it's discounting the markets. When it's unexpected, that's the trouble with people. They don't want to be pioneers. They want to get in on board when it's everyone else is doing it. Unfortunately, often that's too late. So just bear that in mind. Okay. Yeah, all those quite right, Les. We'll come out and get from C meetings and the chit chat after interest rate announcements are made. But you can guess what it is. That's what the pioneer does and being aggressive. It's going to sound to you mutual background noise there. That's better. Can't think there. Okay, so that's the pioneer does. He thinks it's going to be a 1. They take a big position. Hope that's the case. They don't. They take a big loss. If you take a win, well, hallelujah. And that's how the millionaires do it. They put enormous amounts on the line. The average person, especially the married kids, got a bond and a car, HP around their neck, can't do that. So they've got to be a little bit more conservative on it. But just don't think you're going to get the same as a high risk. Put that in and risking his whole bloody entire catastrophe. It's going to, if it comes off a bigger gain, but he's going to lose a lot. You can't have one without the other. Just remember that. It's coming up all the time, and it's just got to accept that. Okay, hope that's clear. Right, CAD CHF for a short. CAD CHF for a short. Now, people who know me well, well, from Zoom, virtual know me well, find that, say, Canadian's quite a strong one, but more to the point, Swissy is strong and very stable. The oil price has gone up a bit and it's coming off a bit, and that should affect it to a certain extent. Some stuff comes out fundamental on the Canadian, keep an eye on it. But Canadian, I would say, if I had race to race between the two of them, I would back the Swiss franc by much. I'd rather have the Swiss franc against an even weaker horse. You're betting the favourite against maybe the second or third favourite at the moment on the Canadian. I'd say the dollar, Swiss franc, Canadian, that's a particular area at the moment. So coming to that, it's been proved by the buyers and sellers, because look, it's in the sell area. My problem with selling it now is you can probably turn around and say, Zeph, you might have a good point. You're being a little bit of a bit of a chicken here, but I'm being a bit of a chicken here. Let's come right down here. I'm nervous to buy the bounce. If it was a Japanese or something, I certainly wouldn't be buying the bounce. I could consider buying the bounce because the Canadian's also quite strong, but before I sell it down again, depending on what happens to the Canadian. But I'm still a bit nervous of buying the bounce. To sell it, I haven't got any confirmation that it's going to break through. I see some buyers coming in on the screen there at the moment, defending that bit of support resistance area there. So I am personally not keen buying or selling it. That's my opinion. What have you got to say? For the short take, there's a very good push down. Yeah, okay. Zeph quite like the short. Could be one where we could have a leave it alone or short or even a long. So we might have a bit of moment or two to discuss this. Okay, right. That's fantastic. There we'll be a guy to listen to. Zeph, he loves trading. It means he specializes. He probably knows a lot about it. That's good. The more you specialize, the more about that specific instrument. I'm happy with that. So where was I? Okay, set these guys in. So personally, I'm going to put my hand up and say I'm on the road. We'll start with Zeph because his idea. Anyone will join him on a short on this one. And you need to not spend the next hour making your mind up because we've got other stuff to look at. So we need some decision-making returns. We've got nearly 60 people in here, so we need some people to put up. Zeph likes a short. Before we go to a long or leave alone, anybody want to join him on a short? Don't take too long, guys. We need some report. It's great to have mornings, but we need to know. There's quite a few stuff to go through today. So I've got a few ideas as well. Look at the short. Okay, Ashley. Right, so we can use his if you like. Let's just scroll up a bit. Forgot what they are now. So far up there. Stop loss 73.57. 0.7357. I haven't looked at it yet, so I'll just putting his in verbatim. And your TP 71.68. Well, you got a 2-to-1, 110 on micro, and I'm just going to put on the weekly now. You can see where the TP is. There's a TP down there. I see it's coming from. There's a TP down there, and a stop loss up there. Anybody like that? You might even want a slightly wider stop, but anybody like that for further movement down? If we get two or more people, I'll put it down as a short. Well, Gerard likes a short. Right, and Ashley, and well, Ashley, so we'll put that down. Just a second. We'll put that down. CADCHF as a cell. Just write the stuff down here. 72.94, 73.57, and 71.68. Okay, Zeph and Ash. I'll put Zeph because I'm joining with Zeph's idea. Right. Okay. The next one I'm going to go, if you want to take it, figures there. The next time I want Ash, definitely got your back. Yeah. And Raymond likes it. Okay. Now, anybody want to do a long on this one? Anybody? I'll go back to the daily so it's a little bit clearer. I'm just going to get this out of the way. Maybe here on this one. Anybody want to do a long on this one? Looking for a long. Let's have a look at a long. So you're looking for a bounce. Put up the thingamajig. Let's have a look. We'll get some figures out. Have a look at it. Okay. Long. We want a long. But not listening to me. They just knock it off completely. That's better. Right. Short down here somewhere. Get this out of the way just a second. Let's have a look. Is it going to be too far away? They're down here. It's quite a long way away. So we don't have to put that far away. Maybe put it slightly tighter, maybe there. Maybe a little bit further down. Just a little bit further down. In fact, no, we'll put it. Actually, tell you what we'll do. That's the day. That's not the weekly. Sorry. Yeah, we'll use the weekly one. And then we can put the stop up here. 7, make it around 7. I won't do that. Do as it says there. 0.734. What does that look like in a risk reward? Yeah, you got a risk reward there. Take it up to 50. Who likes the long? Not whether you like it or not, or rather, who's going to do it? Anybody going to go for a long on this one? Okay, right. So no one's going to go for a long. Okay, Etchin, you're going to go. It's a no-go. You're waiting, so you're not going to go for it. Waiting's one thing. We're all waiting. It's like when I was in sales. That's very interesting. It can be rude. I kept thinking, are you going to buy it or not? Or not buy it or not? We all know, are you going to go for it? No. I'll go for long. Lorenzo wants to go for the long. Anybody join on the long on this one? Well, I'm going to tell you what, I'm a leave it alone guy, but now I'm going to join. I'm just going to join you on that, Lorenzo, but I'm going to go in fairly small. I'm going to join you on Lorenzo. I'm leaning towards a bit of a bump on this one. Having said that, and this is called disclaimer, okay? If I go for the long and it goes up and I get my stop loss, I'm not keeping more than 20 pips closer, to be fair. I'm going to cheat. Gets the profit. Even if I make a 2 or 3 rand profit on it, okay, I'll still accept it as a win. Like the Euro CHF, some got stopped out, sorry about that, but it went short and you got stopped out of profit. Even a couple of bucks or long stop profit, a couple of bucks. Even if you didn't get the TP, you can count as a winning trade, as you know. So that's gone for the short. So I'll join you, Lorenzo, for the long. Okay. So let's see how that goes out. So it's 0.7294, 0.7246, 0.7394. Just write that down before I start getting a bit flippant, which I'm about to do. EPSLTP. Right, this is me and Lorenzo. Okay, that's Zeph and Ashley and company. Right, now, it doesn't work out for me, it works out for Zeph. I'm going to be seriously bursting into tears, so just be warned on this. And that is not a pretty sight. Okay, but joking for a long, Philip's join. Okay, so see how that works out. We've got the battle of the traders now. It's not the battle of the sexes anymore. We're going through into the new South Africa. Gender, race, homosexuality rights, that's been done, been gone done. We're going now to the battle of the traders. This is the new trend we're going in. We're setting a new trend, the battle of the traders. So if you don't agree with the battle of traders, now you're being non-PC. So we're changing over the whole political system here in the trading room. Nothing wrong with thinking big, guys. It might well be, but we're going that way anyway. Okay, so move on. We'll come back to that. And if we win, guys, and it goes up, we do this to everybody, and they can do it vice versa. We'll have some serious leg pulling on it, gloating, whatever you like to call it. See how it works out. We'll be like the Sri Lankan supporters or the Indian supporters when the other team scores a 6. Silence in the audience. Thank you, Zeph. least I won't have to buy my own sodding tissue. Thank you. Great. Right. Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay. Now I want to go for a couple. I still buy the dollar. I still think it's. I want to not the bounce. I don't want to buy the bounce. I want to sell the rally. And I think we might have missed that rally. I had a bit of a rally today. Yeah, we've got a bit of a rally on the 4 hour. I think we can start looking at more downside. I think one's going to hold. And I think we can start looking at another sell on this one. I presume you guys all hit your TP on the euro dollar, those who took it. I know the clients, I've been away from the trading room, but I know quite a few clients went to the euro dollar. Oh, that sort of was my idea when the went on the company sent it out this time. But yeah, the euro and the GBP USD were my ideas, and the BA was, I agreed with it, but it was actually another guy's idea. And it's Clinton's, if you know, from platform trading and that. And they all came right. I think the TP's been hit. So if you're out of the euro dollar, I think I can see a short coming on again. We'll do that in a moment. We'll do this for the moment, okay? So I see some more downside on this one. And I think, oh, by the way, don't forget economic calendar. Today, what time? At 2:30 is the producer price index. We had the CPI yesterday, it's a PPI today. And that could affect the dollar, and of course, as always. But I think the dollar strength is going forward. You might get into a pullback if it does, and then for continued strength. So I see some more downside here. I think the round figure is going to hold at 1.0, decimal place, point in the wrong place. Could be more downside. Anybody see a short here? If you do, we'll put up stuff, the RR, and we'll take it from there. Anyone like a short on this one? And if you like, anyone look at a long if you want. I'm looking for short. If anyone wants to be, we'll put that down as well, the long and the short, along the tall and the short, etc. But yeah, seems to be holding on the short-term chart. And a few, yeah, I see a short there on the 4 hour protection there. On the 1 hour, we got some protection there. So anybody like this one for a short? Okay, Yapi likes it. We want that sort of decision stuff. Not 3 hours later, I like it. The ship has sailed. We need to be decisive this way. RR. Okay, all right. We go. Should have all done nice on the euro dollar before, so hopefully we'll come again. Not sure we'll get quite the trail. It depends what happens. Usually do it again. All right, the short we're looking at. Where we're going to put the stop loss. I went out the way on this one. Is that too far? A little bit too far. Maybe put it down here. Still too far. Maybe down there. Still too far. Put it here. That's more like it. 1.006. There we are. A TP, I think we can take slightly lower. We might be down there. Maybe down there, push it. Make it 98.75. That's a little bit lower. Actually, make this a little bit lower. There we are. That should do it, yeah. So your risk is 115 bucks per micro. My lot size is scary. It's only a micro per micro on this. 115 bucks a micro. Moving as we speak. Are you in for it? I think a couple of guys, yes, so I'm going for it. So we got in at just a moment ago. Make it 87. Euro, US dollar, 0.9987. 1.0053, 0.9875. Okay, all right, just a second. Oh, 9:22. Right, so you all got that? Anyone along? Shall we move on? Don't think I was going for a long. If you want a long, shout. If you want to look at another one before we miss the trade, if it's still there. GBP came out today, CPI 9.9 instead of 10.2. Consumer price index slightly less. So it's slightly less inflationary. It's a little bit of pound strength in theory should be crept in. Not that seemed to a little bit of pound strength crept in on the daily. Going back came out, yeah, a bit of pound strength crept in. Not much difference, a bit crept in. Who do you think's the king still? Is it the pound or the dollar? I'm telling you right now, the dollar might come off a bit. I know it might. It'll jump around. But it's still strong. And the pound, the UK is still a bit of a commercial, economic problem, basically. Like I mentioned, Truss I quite like, but I'm not sure she's the right person to sort it out. But that's my opinion. I prefer the other guy, but if he's not there, so see what can happen. Okay, they're not in the Eurozone now. Might be a good thing in certain ways, but they're except for that, and they're not getting the heart-warmed love from America they might have under Maggie Thatcher and Reagan. So they're not getting as much as they like there. They got their issues as well. So I still see dollar strength, and I see a short here. And on the hour, it's the top of the range, and I see a short here. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yep, and the dollar day one. Yep, it's popped up a bit, and I think we can get some more downside. How far can we put it up? Well, let's use the 4 hour for this one. Okay, we can put it up here, I think. A little bit further, not too big. We don't have a big one, maybe 1.587. Just a second, put this thing up. Something like this one. Better. And the TP put down here, see if that can work on the 4 hour. 1.141, sorry. 1.141. Will that work? Yes, it just about squeezes it without getting too cute in the 4 hour. And it's only 120 odd bucks a micro. Right. Anyone like the look of this one? Philip likes it. Anybody else like it? Okay, that's good enough for me. I'll make that 1.187, actually 1.1450. Okay, well, 1D likes it. If anyone wants to long it, please say so. You all like it? If you do like it, there are the figures for you. Okay, can we move on? Right, a couple more to look at, unless you put up, I've got a couple to look at. AUDJPY, I want to buy on this one. Did earlier on, might have changed. AUDJPY. Yeah, I thought there might be some upside on this one, and maybe put a fib, see if any help from that. Still coming down a bit. Still a bit of momentum. Not a lot of buyers coming in yet. Buyers defend a little bit there, but not for very long. Look at the other ones. Not a lot of confirmation there. Prefer to see if the 38.2 can be regained. I think we're looking at quite a bit of, shall we say, aggression on this one. Could either come back to the 50 or even this sort of area here. Could come back there, yeah. Could come back to the 50 for a better area to buy there. I'm not as cocksure of this one. Right, Bupelo, if you're a moderate trader, you'll be a day trader. It's a contradiction in terms. A day trader needs a lot of time, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of aggression. You know what I'm saying? Always bear in mind, the more you put in, the more you get out. The higher the return, the higher the risk. You want the returns of a day trader, but you're a moderate, then you know what I'm saying. It's day trader is not, yeah. Quite put this. It's you've got to have the time to be in front of your computer most of the day. Keep a good eye on it, or certainly, you know, you've got to be not far away from it. And it's I wouldn't put it for beginners. Put it that way. That's something who might graduate down the line. But this isn't. This is a high risk market. So conservative guy is still high risk. An aggressive guy is very high risk. There's no such thing as being. I'm very conservative. I don't like risk. Being in a leveraged market. It's a contradiction in terms. I like to keep my money safe when I'm going to the casino. It's a bit of a contradiction in terms. Not oxymoron. Okay. Although this casino ain't skill. This is skill. We still got to acquire it. I'd be careful of day trade until you got more experience. Unless you're very experienced, I'm just saying. You might be extremely experienced. I don't know you, but I'm just be careful of the other guys. Okay. I'm not so sure. So the momentum's still down. So I'll move from that one unless someone wants to come back to it. GBP AUD for a sell. We've got some good figures out in the pound, so it might not be so good anymore. GBP AUD. That was a sell. Moving up a bit. We've got some good figures on the pound coming out. Not great figures, but a little bit better than expected. But I still see the downside. See, it's in the sell zone. You can see the 200 up there. It's right on here on resistance. I'm not sure the pound is stronger than the AUD, and it's the top of the range. I think we get some downside here. And the news coming out at 8, it's now 10 o'clock, so that's mostly being pushed into the market. Will the uptrend continue? I'm not so sure. I think the more likely that that's going to hold. I see a few sellers coming in at the moment on the daily. Let's have a look at the 4-hourly. Fewer coming in, looks at the hourly. Not a lot, not as much as I'd liked. Not as much as I'd liked. I'd like to see a bit more red across there. But I think there's a possibility of a downside there, but we might want to have some confirmation. But here's a possibility, if you like the look of it, keep an eye on it for confirmation for some downside before you enter it, in case it pops up further. Any comments, guys, on what I've said and what you see? No comments? Some guys like as a buy. You prefer a buy to this one, okay? All right, how far do you want to take it up to there? That's got you 100 pips. That should be all right. 4-hour then for a stop loss. Could probably squeeze it in with a tight stop on there. So if you want to buy, we'll look at it. $72.51. Start giving me a jip now. Wow, now it's doing this thing. Excuse me a second. That's better. Right, so clearly we're going to have the stop a bit closer, which is going to be interesting on the 4 hour. Maybe put it up here somewhere. Probably squeeze it there. It's only $70 a micro on the 4 hours, not a daily one, it's a 4 hour. Anybody want to take this as a trade on a long? There are the figures. Do you agree with them, disagree with them? What do you think? I'm going to miss this one myself, but anyone like the long on this one? Do you want to put a higher TP and a lower stop loss? What do you reckon? You want to use the aggressive shorter term one, 70 odd bucks a micro? What do you want to do, guys? LS likes it, Alfred likes it. Anybody else want to join? See, what I'm trying to do is get the stuff shared in the forum, not just one person pushing it and going along with it. You're getting ideas your own, which is great. I'm for the short, you know, because I have to get confirmation. If you want to do it, guys, tell me. I'll put it down as a buy. Are you doing it, guys? 2 of you. Okay, I'm going to pass. We'll move on. Okay. GBP CAD, I looked again for shorts. Knock this off earlier on. And again, as with the previous one, the AUD, and I like the CAD more than the AUD, and I see this as a short. Down here, we can get 130 pips. That's plenty. Stop up here. We can definitely get a risk reward on this one. I look at the 10 days, not much good, but I don't think the 10 days that strong, and I think it might be a bit more downside here. So this one I'm looking for a short on. Anybody like the look of this for a short? So I'll put the RR up. If not, I'll clear you, then I won't. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. You've got to remember there's costs involved. If there's no costs involved, an hourly 50 minutes, I'm no problem with. Grab a couple of pips and away you go. But because of the costs involved, I would say you should be looking at strategy on 4 or daily, not learn that. You can see backup confirmations on the shorter term, see an overall pattern or longer term. But I personally think a daily or a 4 hours. You know, I use the daily, but that's not set in stone. If you want to use 4 hours, you can do, but I wouldn't be using the 1 hour or shorter term ones like that for my strategy now. Okay, Jacob, you like it, and Mike likes it, so we'll do this one. I think I'll put the stuff up first, eh? Write it down, eh? The beauty is we can have a stop up there, and we've got TP down here. 1.50, put 1.5060, just about there. 1.5060. That should do the job. There we are, and it's only 85 bucks a micro. What a pleasure. On a daily, not a 4 hour. That's even more of a bonus. Anyone like this one? This one I've got for a sell. LS. Ramashala. I like that. Ramashala. That's nice and good. Mr. Ramashala, I like it as a short. Look, the heat map's lagging. JP, heat maps give indicators, and the indicators yet to respond. The heat map will show a buy now. Look what's happened on the daily. It's gone up. Let's look at the 4 hour. It's gone up to, it comes up eventually. Give me a second. It's gone up on the 4 hour, as you can see, as it rose to the top of the range. That will follow that. If this suddenly comes off, we're right, that heat map will start to turn, getting until it shows down here, it'll show is a sell, because clearly the pound was weak in the Canadian. It just follows the price action. We want to get ahead of the price, ahead of the heat map, and look at what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? By the time it gets to the roof, all the indicators say it's a very, very strong buy. We're thinking of taking profit waiting for it to break through the roof or come off and sell it, if you see what I mean. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. I'm always a bit wary of indicators. What's happened already? I know what's happened already. I know the RSI, stochastic, everything is going to be very strong at this point. I see downside. Okay, I'll get that down there. 151.2. 1.5192. 1.5252. 1.5060. GBP CAD. These are all indicators or ideas. None of them refer to the no-brainer, what will happen. We don't know what's going to happen until after it's clearly occurred. Okay, so there we are. Don't forget, if it's a no-brainer, it wouldn't have any value. If you want to make money out of a no-brainer, it's like trying to pay a lot of money to watch me play tennis or golf, or watch me play football or rugby. You're not going to do that. Okay, I think it's going to hold this, so here's a good time to get in. Should we go in now? At this pricing, it's going to hold around, thing like pop-up bets and put it 95 entry. Let's see how that goes. Okay, we can move on. I've got another one to look at as a GBP NZD as a sell. Might not be as good as this one. Can I knock this off? You should all have it. If you want, I've got it written down to come back to it if you missed it. Please just let me know on the chat line that you missed it. What the figures again, will certainly do it. The idea is called a trading room. We want to get people trading, not sort of just looking gormlessly at the screen and hoping for the best. No, we want to get you trading. Right, GBP NZD, I'm not getting as confident as I like to. Trouble is broken through here. The NZD is also a mid-ranking middleweight, as I mentioned, like the AUD. Pound is still a mid-ranker, so maybe I'm not as confident I'd like to be than it was maybe a couple of hours or so ago. Let's look at the 4 hour again. That's a bit more momentum up. I looked at a little bit earlier down here, thought it might hold. Not so confident anymore. I'm not sure I'll be buying it, but I'm not against buying it. But I'm not confident to sell it anymore because that 50-day moving average is broken. We're now heading into the neutral zone. Buy or sell it against one against middleweight, the other one. So even though I bought it up, I'm not as keen as I'd like to be. Anybody like this one? I'm, for the record, not so keen. Okay, happy with that, leave it alone. Right, let's just see, recap on gold, and then we'll look at the NAS. A couple of people say, should be buying gold for a bounce. I think we'll have maybe a bit of a bounce, but the extent of the bounce, I don't know. I would rather see if I can get a decent price on a rally to sell it rather than buying it. I'm just going to go back to my other screen and have a look. Dollar's come off from a highs of 110 again. And it's retreated a bit. It's now 109.50. It's come off a bit. Well, that's going to be sustained. I don't know. Not so sure. PPI is coming out again at 2:30. That might get renewed strength upwards. Bear that in mind. So I would say gold at the moment is a little bit in the no-go, nowhere land situation. I'm not sure I'd be selling at these levels. And I think you're going against a bit of a likely trend of downside. So I think if you want to do gold, I would like to see maybe 1720-ish, something like that can be regained. It's even better. I'd look at it, but even slightly lower than that, depending on the situation on the fundamental front. But I'm not sure I'd be buying a bounce here, and we haven't had much of a bounce either. Look at this on the 1 hour chart. See what I mean? Look at that. We haven't exactly seen a bounce to shoot up. So guys who bought the bounce wouldn't have been very happy. They'd be sitting going nowhere over many hours and getting a bit worried. So if it goes up a bit higher, we can look at it. And if we get some more figures coming out, we can start selling it down again. So I'll sit on the sidelines on gold for the reason I just gave. The euro dollar is still going up. Thanks very much for that, Etienne. Thanks very much to hear that. What's the euro dollar? What did we get in at? 98.87. Wow. Just now. No, sorry, it's 99. I thought it was wrong. 99.87. Got it written down. Wouldn't be nice. 99.87. Why do you say it's going to be stopped at 10 pips above entry near the round figure? Well, why would you say that? Yeah, we must make knee-jerk reaction to that, Etienne. For goodness sake, I thought it might have shot up 60 pips or something. It's only gone up 10 pips. That's just the noise. Sure. If you carefully stare at the charts, I think you do a lot of that and understand it's quite normal. But, oh, it's coming off a bit. Oh, it's going up. That's the noise. The difference in the buy and sells, tussling it out in the noise. There's no set change direction. Just had a little bit of pop up, pop down, then popped up. Major thing, that one's got a hold. And I say, oh, you got 5 pips above. It goes up to 15 pips above the one. We'll start getting a bit more worried, but I'm still okay with the trade at the one. Okay. Well, it's nowhere near that yet. Wow. Don't stand back the bloody media now, getting me all worried. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Right. Okay, the NAS. Come back on again. The old load shedding. Thank good God for the inverter, eh? Right. Where are we? The NASDAQ, yeah. I think a bit of a bounce around the 12,000 mark. I was obviously on the air at the time, but on the air. But I saw a bit of a bounce around 12,000. The extent of it, I don't know. I'm still saying short the rally on the NASDAQ. I haven't changed that for a while now. And I'm sticking to the principle rather short the rally. But if you're a high risk kind of person, you want to buy the bounce, that is your choice. But I think I'd rather wait for a rally and then short it down again, depending on what happens again with the fundamentals, the yields, the DXY, etc. We've got the bounce from 12,000. I didn't take part in it, I left it alone, but I'm not surprised at that. We might get a bit more. It might get back right up here. But I think this 23 could hold. We'll see anyway. But I wouldn't trade it now unless you're high risk, short term type of guy. But we could get a bit of a bounce up depending on what happens through. But the stage is the NASDAQ is sell the rally, in my opinion. Okay, just keep an update on that before we move on. So let's get moving on that. Right, NZDC. Oh, the BA one we talked about did quite well. Remember, it came right off. It didn't hit TP. I think TP's down here somewhere, but look, did pretty damn well. Just so you know, we did okay on all those trades. I'm happy to say. NZDCAD. What have you done with this one? Went to short. Okay, 7664. You want to sell this one down? You've got more nerve than me, mate. It's interesting that Canadian's quite strong and ZD is quite middle. And look at that, extremely wonderful. This is a bit of the exception that proves the rule. Very, very much in the sell zone. Have to be honest, that surprised me. Would I continue with the downside? I'm not so comfortable with that. I'm clearly not going to. I know. I think. Oh no, I'm right. The sell zone. Yeah, we're buying the Canadians. Sorry, cracking up here. Sorry, stupid boy. Yeah. See what you mean. Completely wrong way around. Yeah. Now, of course, it makes sense. Yeah. Don't you want to wait for a break first, or to dive in now? Sorry, Zeb. You can laugh with pleasure. You know. Old age come in there. Makes total sense. I think it was a CAD NZD, so I cracked up. Hey, where I got that from? Hey, sorry, that's the best of us. Okay. I'd sell a little bit higher up, probably. Maybe get a bit higher up. Maybe it's only about 10 pips higher. Is he going to break through? I'm a bit nervous suddenly there. Look what happened yesterday. Buyers came in. Look at that today. Buyers came in, but the sellers are trying to come off again. 79 seems to be holding. I wouldn't be buying it, no. I'm a bit nervous on that one. But yeah, might have broken it, but it hasn't succeeded in. You're too much support here, I think. Right there. I agree with that, but it should have much follow through yesterday or today. NZD is not that weak a currency. I would be a little bit nervous to short it now. I'm for the short, but I tell you what, now I'll short it up here somewhere. I'm not too keen on that. Anyone want to go along with Zeph on this one? Sorry, Teresa, when you think I'd asked the question, it had a slight jump on it because it was slightly lower than expected, slightly less inflationary. So I think because of that, had a little bit of a jump, but not massive, had a bit of a jump on the pound. But I'm not sure that's going to be ongoing. You know, like a bit of good news to cheer up, but the overall bad news is still there. Like Sophie, so yeah, you had a good news. A friend of yours just gave you £1,000. The bad news is you still owe me £10,000. Okay. Anyone want to join Zeph on this one? Nobody? Okay. Looks like Zeph, you're on your own on that one. Okay, right. That's the ideas I've come out with, I've mentioned, and yeah. Still, we got out 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not bad. 4 trades. See how they get on. Okay. Rand's not doing too well, eh? 17.4. Anyone look at any shares or anything else in the meantime? Yeah, and then you can laugh even louder at us, and I would not blame you. In fact, I'd encourage you to do just that. Oh, that's right. You mentioned that earlier. I'm sorry about that. Forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. Well, clear. See, upside. Right. The question is, will it pull back any further, or do you want to now? Any buyers coming in? Not in the 4 hour, not in the 1 hour, not in the 15-minute. I haven't seen any buyers come in yet. I come back to here, the 10-day moving average, which is 142.45. Is 143 going to hold? I want to buy it, but I'm not sure we might get a better price, bottom line. Jacob, you take that with Zeph, because that's for the short. Right, so we'll come back in a minute anyway. Yeah, I'm with you on the Savisa. I think maybe a better price. We might be wrong. 143 might hold, and it might jumping up. We'll miss the boat, but I think it might be more prudent to wait for a slightly better price. And I haven't seen many buyers come in as yet. What do you think, guys? I'm going to risk missing out and wait for a better price. That's my statement. Anybody want to go in now? What do you think? I've made my case. I'm handing over now to the defence of the prosecution, or whatever you like to call it in law. I could do it, but I just want to finish this one off first. Yeah, I'll do all that, but I want to do this one. Wait. Okay, just to do that, we can do risk reward. And buy, put the down here. We're going to take the TP2. We're going to have to take that to maybe 145. Ain't going to cut it. I don't think. Maybe 147. We'll try 145. Don't think that's going to cut it. No, we've got to take a bit higher up. Make it 146. For a risk reward, bear in mind, even if you get there and you stopped out the profit, you still made a profit. But unless you want a tighter stop, maybe you've made a tighter stop. Maybe we put the stop up here. And then the TP, bring it down a bit further. That's probably a bit more like it, eh? What do you think? Do you want to do that? 143 seems to be holding. Not a crazy idea there. We had a few under. We'll do this one at the moment. I'm sorry about you being late, and I'd love to help you, but we'll concentrate on this at the moment. You missed 4 to make it worse for you. Anyone want to go in at market? Seems to be bouncing as we speak. Are you going in, Gerard? Anyone want to join Gerard? So I put it down. Okay, putting that down. Good enough. Call it right. 10. Remember, you're getting on the buy. 142.15 and 144.70. Okay, good stuff. There are the figures. Grab it. We've got a few guys who want stuff looked at as well. It's just a recap on. Oh no, AUD USD. Long. We'll be selling the dollar. Can I knock this off? AUD USD. Short the rally. I wouldn't be long the dollar. I wouldn't be long in this snow. Put that down. Sephora, no, I wouldn't be selling the dollar. Might get a bounce and you can sell it down again. We did very well. I didn't using the trading room. I can't remember. But anyway, sent out to a lot of clients, and when I discussed it with them, and they got a short, did okay, and then got a bit nerve wracking at one stage, and it came right. Thank you, CPI US, to be honest, more than anything else. No, I'd rather be selling the rally. I'm not sure that buying a bounce against the trend means you've got to sell the dollar. Might get a bounce up. I have no problem with that, but I'm not too sure I'd be doing that. Anyone want to take a buy against the trend? With the 4 hour? Not very convincing, is it? Not very convincing at all. Anyone want to buy this against the trend? I know it's coming from, but it's right down a bit of support there for a bounce up. But you don't know, against such a strong dollar, how far the bounce will last. Might go up there, right? You grabbed a couple of pips, but can we put it down to trade? Might even go that far, and then it come off again. I want to sell it, but I want to set it higher up or a breakthrough. Okay, I would be keen. No, I mean, I see the DXY is coming off, but what's it? +2. That's 4 hours time, right? You might get some more inflation use coming out in the PPI. It means you get another bang down. I would be a little bit careful about buying this, although I do expect maybe a bit of recovery in the meantime. Rather sell the rally. Okay, all right. GBP, we had GBP KET CAD for sell at 1.5195. Can you still get in, I under? What was the end? GBP CAD. It's 10 pips or 5 pips away. I suppose you could shoot. I suppose you could chase it now. Yeah, we got it 51.95. This is 10 pips away. Remember, you're getting in on the bit. If you want to, I'll put it up again. Put the original stop again. 1.5252. 1.5060. Yeah, I suppose you still could chase it. Risk reward's okay. It's $90 a micro. But you do quick on it because already it's moved off 12 pips. So you'll have to move on that if you want to still do it. Yeah, I'll wait a couple of moments. You got it, have you? Because we'll move on from that then. Go. Right, should we do a quick recap? So it was a euro dollar. Is it still bouncing up? God, it is. Yeah, that's not good, is it? Well, just hope that. All right, still a bit of support there. Maybe we'll hold up there somewhere. Keep your fingers crossed. Not looking pretty at the moment. It might come right. Is the GBP doing any better? No, it's doing a lot worse actually. It's 20 pips wrong. So not too good a start so far, but don't give up. The 10-day might hold. We're still in it, panic not. So the pound CAD is going okay. Pound dollar, euro dollar, not so good, but still in it. What was the other one we did? Euro CHF. Or was it CAD CHF? I've got them written down as two things here. I think I got wrong with that. Just a second. The CAD CHF, got the wrong one down there. Yeah, CAD CHF. Okay, I was a bit nervy on this one, but in the end, I thought, well, maybe again for a buy, I suppose. These exec went for a sell. 72. That's exactly the same price. There's no movement there. Okay. Normally, I wasn't that keen, but I supported the Renzo, to be honest. I'm a bit nervous of it. CAD against the Swiss, we'll see. But anyway, I signed with you on that one. What the hell? So we'll see what happens. But it's still about the same. So nothing happening there. Euro dollar we just mentioned. Pound dollar we just mentioned. CAD, and we just entered the pound. Dollar yen. Yeah. You're going to buy on that one, Jacob? See how that goes. But when you're born or sold, doesn't make much difference to vote. I mean, that. Okay, all right. Let's have a look. Anybody like to look at anything else in the meantime? Don't forget we've got shares. You want to have a look at them before afternoon opening? Anything of you guys there? Not quite sure. We talked about something. Just repeat. How do you get that? You should all have the DXY and the 10-year note. The yields, keep saying that, the yields on the 10-year note should all be having that. If you haven't, I'll copy and paste for you. So I'll do it anyway. Just give me a second because some guy's a bit shy there. First one I'm putting up is the 10-year note, the yields on the 10-year note. And the next one will be the DXY, which is the dollar index made up of 6 currencies. Predominant one, surprise, surprise, is the euro. There he is. Don't forget to refresh now and again. How Joubert stop loss? Joubert, I mean. Oh, Etienne Joubert, since you're on that. Right. Should be it's 1007 is far too close. You mustn't have a couple of guys there, clearly not guys from trading, having the stops when they enter too close. I understand why. It's pure emotion, nothing to do with strategy, rational, anything like that. They're so scared to put stop loss too close. All they do is they get stopped out in the loss. They've got the costs as well on top of it, and they're getting nowhere. And the trade might even be in the right direction. They won't be on board. You've got to have a stop loss out the sodding way, out the way of the noise. In the next room, the next floor, or whatever. Sometimes even then we get a bit close and it's stopped out, it's come right. Just be careful. Don't get the stop too close. you'll get stopped out in the noise. It's not a guarantee, it's high probability. Okay, the yields, quite simply put, why the yields are bad for the stock market, why they're bad for gold? Because the yields you get are very low risk. Well, they move around a bit, it's not exactly guaranteed, but they're very low risk. And so you're getting good return by what we call a no-brainer. If you're getting, remember, I'll go back to the no-brainer. If you're getting a good return no-brainer, what's the point of taking a risk? So if you're getting, by sitting on your bum and doing a squat, you're getting a good return on your investments on a high interest rate or yield, why would you take a risk and go into the markets? So therefore, it's going to be negative in the markets. Gold, apart from the fear factor, does not provide a dividend or a yield. It's purely capital gain. So the opportunity cost of going into gold with a higher yield decreases the value of going into gold. So the supply and demand going to gold reduces, to reduce the gold price. So a higher yield is bad for the markets, stock markets, not the forex, stock markets, and bad for gold. The dollar strength, okay, also bad for gold, because then people say, instead of hedging my money in gold, I'll hedge my money in the dollar. Remember Nixon in the 70s went from the gold standard to the dollar standard, if you like, and let the currencies freely go up and down and basically find their own values through supply and demand. So the dollar is no more a safe haven. Where are you going to go? You ain't going to go to the rand, not to the pound, not even going to the euro. You're going to go, not even the bloody yuan, Chinese yuan, you're going to go to gold. So the stronger dollar, therefore, is negative for gold. And a stronger dollar often compounds a slightly weaker market as well. It's not an exact correlation. You can have the yields coming off and the dollar strengthening a little bit. Some are playing catch up, to be fair. But overall, you see the dollar strengthening and the yields going up, expect the markets to come off and expect the gold to come off. And on forex, clearly, if the dollar's getting stronger, the other one will be getting weaker by definition. Okay, well, that makes sense. It's not complicated. When you go into deeper economics, sometimes it does, but I think I'm rather fond of these long, fancy ideas. But the practical, seeing the bigger picture in simplistic terms, I think is a lot of the times more favoured, unless you want to study for a degree and get a job there. Then you can have the knowledge and the vocab to blind people with science until they ask you, should I buy or sell that? The armour, well, it could go up, but then again, it could go down. We're back to square one. See that in a lot of these articles I read. A whole flowery article about a good idea, and then, but if this happens, that. So no, they're just sitting on the fence again. It's a nice, flowery, nice, multisyllabic way of sitting on the fence all the time. I'm not knocking, of course they know this stuff, but lose the practical area to cut out some of the noise and the crowds by analysis. I think you do just as bloody well, to be honest. Okay, Zeph, catch you later. And by the way, by the time you ploughed through all those articles, you missed the bit that the ship sailed anyway. Okay, so the pound, look at the pound dollar on the screen there. It's not looking too pretty at the moment, but keep your fingers crossed on it. Euro dollar's probably not looking too pretty, but still, well, not stopped out. So keep your fingers crossed. A lot of them, remember the noise, you've got to be patient. Sometimes you're looking, you get all panicky, you stare at the screen, it's completely transparent, it's getting all panicky, it's not going the way you want. And suddenly it does, and you're back to happiness again. Maybe I put the wrong stop loss in. You're told which one? The euro dollar. Didn't get anywhere near the stop loss. I've got down here 1 point. Have I got the wrong one here? Should have been a 53. Yeah. Unless you put it in wrong yourself. No, it couldn't have been stopped out. You should have known that. It should be trading enough. Stop loss 15 pips where you know I must have made a mistake or a typo, or you read it wrong. And I've never put a stop loss at 15, 20 pips ever. No, we got the stop loss written down here as 1.0053. That's right. That's no 1.053. Yeah, that's right, Sophie. So you got to somewhere look, because in case you get typos, a lot of things happen. Just got to say, hang on a minute. You know, we're going long, and the stop loss is above, and the TP is below. How's that work? Like I did the other day when the company sent out that one, we got the TP and SL the wrong way around. But then you've got to take a step back and think a little bit. And when you get more guys to thinking more than parrot fashion, when you start, you've got no choice. You've got to go exactly as you learned in the books, parrot fashion. But with a bit of experience and practicality, you think, hang on, that doesn't make sense. Question it. Maybe it's a typo, but I mean, you've never, just think, it can't be a 5-10 pip stop. That should immediately tell you that can't be right. Well, all I can say, Etienne, it might not be bad for you because I still see the short, and you shouldn't have lost much in that tight stop. So maybe go in again with a short at a better price. Come off your speed, get the price in, and you might, yeah, but make sure your stop loss is at least 60 odd pips away or 50, 60 pips away, and your TP is obviously a risk reward. Oh, there you are, Etienne. So it might come out as good news. But I think you might have had 1.005. Anyway, discuss that. Don't repeat myself too many times. Got that. Okay. So the pound is not looking pretty at the moment. Oh, it's coming off a little bit. Thank goodness for that. I'm a bit worried there. We all do. It's natural human emotion. We like to be right, not financially, but we just like to be right. It's the way we are. It seems to have held there. Popped up just now. Seems to have held there. So we might come right on that one. Euro dollars moving down. Start to go below again. That's good news. GBP CAD was a sell. Is that still coming off? I hope so. Obviously, I hope so. That's to say. Yes, it is. So that's fine. We got in at 95. It's now actually it's 82, not 77. We got in on the sell. We get out on the buy. Don't forget, but still, never mind. One way or the other, it's about 12.15 in profit. Start to come right. So that's looking good. The euro dollar start to come right. And the pound dollar start to come right. So one's in a profit, the others should be coming right. What was that? CAD-CHF, that was the questionable one. Very questionable one in my opinion. 72.94, what we got in at, still the same. See, these are two pretty strong currencies. So I don't think you're going to see much shooting the lights out on this one. I think it's going to be more gradual. The pound, the CAD's pretty strong, so the Swiss franc. So I think it might be on the slow side. And we did the dollar yen at 143.10 as a buy. The guys who had the guts to go for that, well bloody done. Philip and that, or you find, I can't remember when for that. They're already, some got a bit better than 10. I think I've got a little bit around the 143 mark. Selling from about 25 to 35 pips in profit. If you got in at 143 or below 143.10, basically, move your stop up already to entry. If you got a 143.10, if it takes out 143.40, you can move your stop up just above 143.10 to cover costs, so you can't lose the trade. What a pleasure in an hour or so. Nice one. Are you talking about the GBP USD? 1.1587 is a stop loss. And 1.141, yeah, you're quite right. Yes. Good. I'm feeling I'm a bit like a dictator, Sophie, so I just want to hear good news. I don't want to hear bad news, even if it's a real thing. If you've got to dictate to Napoleon, Hitler, Julius Caesar, give bad news, they have you executed. Or Saddam Hussein. Don't attack Kuwait. Good chance Ahmed will beat us. Negative talk, shoot him. Okay, right. So yeah, pound CAD seemed to be coming right. You know, the dollar yen's doing nicely. Well done, guys. That was certainly wasn't my idea. Well done. Now it's looking like I can get out to entries, so that's fantastic. Pound dollar's starting to come right as it's coming off a bit, little bit. 44 just now. That's starting to come a little bit better. Where do we get in? 26. Hang on a minute. Practically an entry. Much nicer. Good stuff. And the euro dollar, is that starting to come off a bit? Start to come off a little bit. 87 is practically there now. That's good news. We might get a profit out of this after all. Good stuff. So we've got one in a profit, two in a profit already, and the other two breaking even to just about come to profit. Bit of luck, it continues. And the other one, the counter switch, the two strongest, I was a bit reluctantly went to the buy there a bit, but I'm not that keen reality, to be honest. I think the two strong ones against each other. So that was a bit iffy in my opinion, but never mind, we'll see how they work out. Anything on the gold, probably starting to come off a bit. I want to get an entry, but it's a bit low for me. It's coming off a bit. I'm a bit nervous of joining it now, but don't buy it, sell it up. Sell it if you can get it. What stock for a long-term buy? I reckon Walmart off the top of my head. Why do I think Walmart's a defensive stock? It's the biggest stock market, supermarket chain in the world. It's been going for a long time, pretty well run. It owns Macro, doesn't help you cause much. Macro is not doing very well, it's closed game stores. But overall, it's, anyway, it's the biggest in the world. Everyone eats food, you've got to eat food, no choice no matter. And they sell groceries, it's a defensive stock. For a long-term buy, I'd go for that. A lot of the tech stocks I'm a long-term buy, but I think you get a better price. I still think we can get more downside before we start getting bullish on the Nasdaq tech stocks. So the moment, long-term, Apple as well, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, buys absolutely. If we get a better price, I still think you get a better price. Long-term, I think Walmart will do okay. I'm looking at the chart, by the way. Probably better look at the weekly chart. So it's still holding up pretty well on that, the daily one. That's very short term. It's about long term. So yeah, a lot. Try the weekly, monthly. Doesn't really tell you much. But yeah, if I was going to buy right now for long term stock, it'd be Walmart. If you ever have a massive stop loss, probably have to have a stop loss around about 100 or something like that, about $35 away, and then sort of it'd be a long process. Where can you aim at? Maybe about $200 more, $220 down the line. Maybe $110 stop. I don't know. We'd have to have a very small position for a very wide stop and have the funds to let it go run for a while. But it's not for some guys who've got 2 or 3 grand in their accounts. Guys get maybe 40, 50, 60K in their account and willing to put 2 or 3 grand margin aside, don't need it, leave it for longer term. So a lot of guys say, I want to go do equity. And I look at their balance and I say, clearly, I don't be rude, I haven't got a clue. Why you can't? They can hardly afford to go in derivatives, never mind equity. Because remember, derivatives, you can put a deposit down. So I don't want to put deposit down or pay interest. I want to buy the car and the house cash. But you haven't got the ton put, you know? So if you want to do equities and buy equities, you can do, but you need the money. Because you've got to pay cash, as you know. But to long term, if you want a derivative, you'll have to put up the swap fees because you haven't got the money. You haven't got the money, you might have. If you don't, and you go the derivative way with a 5% deposit, so you can get more shares with it, you're going to have to pay a while of interest on the borrowed money, because clearly you're borrowing the money, and a very wide stop. But that's about the only one I'd look at the moment that I'd say on the longer term to maybe get in now. Tech stocks, absolutely, but I'd wait. Okay. That's long, not shorter term. When I say long, maybe a year or two. You've got to have yeah, I'm talking derivatives, not for equity. If you want to buy full on equity, I don't think 40K is going to cut it. Don't be rude. People, you know, it's peanuts. I know you think it's a lot of money, because remember, you've got all these outgoings. You find disposal so small. But 40K, what's that in dollars to put in perspective? That's about $2,500. It's not a lot of money, but it's not a lot. So you'd have to use derivatives. You couldn't go up to 40K. and then you can maybe put 3 or 4 deposit margin aside and let it run for a long time. Something like that. See, the trouble is, 5K might be a lot of money. I understand that, not negating it, fair enough. But from the world stock markets, it's absolute peanuts. And I don't think a lot of people are getting that. Horrible, it's facts, you know what I'm saying? Okay, try to be honest. Okay. So because a lot of guys seem to want to get the dream, but they're undercapitalized. Just want to make sure they realize that if you haven't got the capital, don't expect to get the dream. That's why it's called capitalism. Common sense, isn't it? Okay. Okay, so you're still coming off, just coming to closing time, as they call it. Trying to anyway, so that progresses. That's about all for now. I don't want to chase the gold, I certainly want to chase the Nasdaq, sell the shorts rather, sell the rally rather than buy it. That's it, covered it. Maybe we can look at a couple of American stuff later on, if we can catch it. PPI is at 230, see if that gives an indication. And yeah, see if we can get something going. No, not yet. No, we haven't gone to profit yet. I think leave the stop loss for the moment. I want to know the fear is so powerful. The rationality goes out the window. If you can't afford the stop loss where it is, don't go for the trade. If you get it too close because you're worried, you're going to get stopped out in the noise. The ups and downs of the noise. And the euro dollar is not yet in profit unless you've got a higher price. But it's not moved enough. 50 pips, you want to put this 20 pips away, and it bounces up, stops you out, and comes down. You're going to be very frustrated. I'd rather have a slightly wider stop than a tighter stop, to be honest. There's nothing worse that you get the trade right, you're stopped out, and you go in the right direction, you're not on board, you took a loss, and you could have been on a winner. Can't overstate, it's the mentality and the fear that overrules, and got to be not conquered, but understood and controlled to some extent. That is so important. In fact, it's vital. That the mistakes are made on that more than all the rest of knowledge or lack of put together. Makes sense, Fundili? No, it's no rule of thumb. Depends on the situation. Depends on the situation. You might have a situation where you've got to put the stop at about 100, 120 pips. You've got no choice because that's what the chart's telling you, whereas all the obstacles, you won't put out the way of the obstacles. Another one, you might be able to squeeze at 40, 50 pips, but even that, that noise couldn't get out. So I'm reluctant to put it below 50. Even if I can see a decent one, I might even widen it. Even a decent one at 35, 40, I still might widen it to 50 for that reason. But unless you're very, very long term, I can't remember last put a stop loss of 150 pips. But look, you have to look at the chart and situation. Because again and again, I'm seeing it a lot with guys who don't go to the trade room, they're purely on emotion. The strategy is more emotion, and because it's and just putting a stop loss too close and then getting stepped out, or modifying it too quickly and getting stopped out. They made 10 rand, they could have made 100, or they're taking a profit far too quickly. Rather, if you can get your stop loss to protect, let the profit run. It's humans, and that should do it. CHFJPY, and they hold on to our losses, hoping it's going to come right. Pure emotion. That's the biggest enemy you've got in this game, without doubt. And that's not something they teach in the classroom. Take it from me, that is the biggest enemy. I can virtually guarantee that. Quicker you can control that, then the better. Along on that one, yeah, I agree on the long. Can get a better price. Any buyers coming in? I think got a long in a week or so ago. I think did okay. Hey, can we go in for another one? A few buyers are coming in. Can we get any green on that one? So it's coming off a bit of the 15-minute. It's been defended on the hour. Bit of defense here. Yeah, I like the buy. Maybe we can get a better price. Maybe we can pull back to 149. If we come back to 149, maybe another attack of it. If he does it before 4 o'clock, well, I'll leave it into your capable hands, then, Mr. Joubert. But maybe 149. Okay. I haven't really got to confirm there, but I'm not totally against the game now. The long is wrapped out the name of the game, but we've done like the Japanese yen. You might have missed it just now. Maybe I'm being over sort of safe, but yeah. Should do. Where can we put the stop? Ideally down there. It's a bit long, 1,200, 120 pips away. Maybe we can do it down here. Don't want it closer than the previous sort of lows down there. Maybe down there. The 70 pips stop will give you. You'll be able to do it. Yeah. If you want to go in now, you can do it. Is that 70 pips? Or 75. We'll have to do. We do there 50.32. Trouble the bloody thing's moving. That's right. Missing the trade as we speak. Eh? That's the trouble. Missed the trade as we speak. Maybe shove it up a bit just to squeeze it. I'm cheating a bit here. Maybe that'll do. I prefer the body. But the problem is we want to get it about 10 pips ago, so we move in the right direction. The dollar's moving up again. I don't think it's going to get back to 149. But it might, the PPI could screw the system up, but I'm not sure it's going to. I think it's going to come out inflationary as well, to be honest. So there you are. If you want to be aggressive and take that one, there you are. Anyone want to take it before we close? You want to take it? Are you on your own there, Chin? But I've said I do quite like it, yeah. The feeling I think it's going to be another PPI like the CPI. It's going to be bullish for the dollar. Okay, if you want to take it there, the figures. If you want to play around, that's your choice. Anyone join Etienne on this one? Okay, we've got it down. We've got it around for 2 people. Good stuff, actually. Right, that's 11 o'clock. Close out to see how we go. Catch you later on. And yeah, have a great day and hope most of you can join us later on. Thanks very much, as always. Cheers, guys.